Hello, everybody. I'd like to talk to you about a little thing that I experienced today, a little, traumatizing experience I had today. It involved a Fiber One bar. Now, I was wanting to, diet a little bit, eat a little more healthy because my diet's dog shit. And I decided when I was at work, there's a little cafeteria area. I'm be like, okay, I'll get a Fiber One bar. It's got a good source of fiber, as you can clearly see, 9 grams. What could go wrong? So what happened? I buy a Fiber One bar, go work, do my work and shit. Then comes lunch. I decide to eat the Fiber One bar, of course, and I feel like that was probably the worst mistake I've ever made in my life because I started to eat it at first, and then I took one bite. I'm like, this is weird. I feel strange right now. I'm not. Let me try that again. I took another bite, and then it hit me. I thought I was poisoned. And I realized, what the fuck did I just eat right here? What is this? And I look at it. This thing, does this look like food to you? I was then filled with like an absurd amount of hate and just anger because of how disgusting it was. Like, it was so fucking terrible. It didn't hit me at first until I took another bite. I put the Fiber One bar down, half of it. God forbid I actually ate half of the fucking thing. I had to stop and think about what the fuck just happened. Look at this shit. Look at how like it lacks color. Honestly, is that even chocolate? I'm not really sure. I thought I was poisoned. Like I was really thinking about I actually felt sick. I thought about going to my team manager and saying like for real though, like, look at this shit. What is this ooze? Like, I know they got like this shit that makes all the grains and stuff, or where the fuck that shit is, stick together, but why is there ooze? It makes me just uneasy just looking at it. Like, God, I don't want to look anymore. But I thought about the scenario that I would go up to my team manager, my TC, or whatever, coordinator, say, "Hey, Elmer, I don't feel very good. Can I leave?" And then he'd be like, "Yeah, what's wrong? You need to go to medical?" And I'd be like, "I ate a Fiber One bar." And he'd be like, "Oh no, you need to go to medical." And then I go to medical. This is just a scenario I thought in my head because of how bad it was. I go to medical and they say, "Hey, yo, what's up? What you need? Everything good?" I said, No, I just don't feel good. I ate a Fiber One bar." Right there, they knock my ass out. They don't need to put me under anesthesia because I'm in fucking danger. They knock my ass. They get like they fucking side hook me in the jaw. I just go out cold. They call fucking ambulance. The ambulance gets me to the hospital. Hospital, like in the ER, they put me up to a stomach pump, and the stomach pump starts pulling the shit out of my body. But the thing is, this stomach pump wasn't prepared for what they're pulling out. Half a Fiber One bar, mind you. And it's like, oh fuck, it goes into overdrive. It's trying, but it can't siphon the fucking hate and evil from my body that I ingested. So it overheats and fucking explodes, and all of it gets shot right back into me. And then I shrivel up like that one fucking prune thing from SpongeBob. They're like, "What are they selling? Chocolate?" And then I'm just like that for the rest of my life. Now, of course, that didn't happen. That's just something that flashed in my head. Like, am I dying? That's like, I wanted to go to my team coordinator and say, I want to go home. I'm feeling sick. But I didn't do that because I was sitting there for the rest of my lunch just trying to just wrap my brain around what the fuck did I just, like, what I just ate. Like, this portion right here is what I ate. Like, look at this pile of shit. It actually looks like shit. Like, what it come out of an ass. Like the rest of the food you just ate that day. This is what comes out. Like the rest of it that wasn't digested. And this is the shit. This is the shit right here that you actually digested. Now, after I spent a whole 2.5 hours when I went back to work thinking about this. The whole fucking time flew by, because I was just so enveloped in thought about the things I would rather do than eat another Fiber One bar. I have a small list right now off the top of my head. Here's some things I would rather do than eat another Fiber One bar. Die. But that would probably be too easy, because like that's kind of just the coward's way out. Like there's plenty of other things you can do than eat a Fiber One bar. I would rather eat a cold can of SpaghettiOs than than eat a Fiber One bar. I would rather eat canned Spam that has been shat out and re-eaten 3 times over by a pigeon. I would rather boil 6-month-old expired milk and chug it while it's still boiling. I would rather make out with every person watching this video's mother, even the dead, even the dead ones. I would rather become a doctor just to tell a child's parents that their child has been diagnosed with stage 4 terminal cancer while jacking off and then saying, "I'm sorry, yes, I blow my load into the mother's hair." I would rather watch every apology video on YouTube 6 times over. No breaks. I would rather watch 3 Rice Gum videos than even take a bite of a Fiber One bar. This is all like, if I would rather do these things than eat a whole Fiber One bar. I would rather shave my head and rock a soul patch than eat a Fiber One bar. I would rather dye my hair any unnatural color, like whole, not like highlights or anything like that, just the whole thing, like depressed people do. I would rather uninstall Doom Eternal and never play it again than eat a Fiber One bar. I would rather watch Jar Squatter, the guy that like puts a glass jar in his asshole and it breaks. I would rather watch that than watch someone eat a Fiber One bar. That's just a small list of things I thought of as I was kind of like, seething. But here are some uses of Fiber One bars. Good uses, you could put them to use. Threaten nations rather than with nuclear bombs. Like, we don't need to do any more nuclear weapon testing. We don't need any more of that. All we got is Fiber One bars. It's right under our noses. And hell, how much do these things cost? Let's see. These things are fucking ridiculous. Like $7 for a goddamn box of these atrocities. Or I'm sorry, 10 or $5 for 10 fucking sticks of shit. You could put it in your children's stockings, like coal. You don't want to buy coal, put it shitty coal in your. Well, I guess shitty's kind of relative, but you could put it in your child's stockings if they misbehave that year. But if they actually eat it, you have to execute them on the spot, right there. You got to put them down. It's like a horse that's been injured. You don't really who's hurt its leg. You kind of just don't really have a choice. You got to put it down. If your child eats a Fiber One bar, you got to put them down. What you could do, and speaking of which, another thing you could do is if your child mouths off to you, instead of putting soap in there, it depends on the severity, how bad they mouth off to you. What you could do, instead of putting soap in their mouth, you could put a little chunk of Fiber One bar in their mouth. They'll really be traumatized. They won't talk shit to you ever again. They won't even think about it. Become the most obedient children on the planet. Another thing, capital punishment or torture methods. Capital punishment, depends on how you want to do it. There's been so many different types of severity, in kinds of capital punishment, from hangings to stoning to death. Just stick a Fiber One bar in their mouth. That's good. That's pretty much a fate worse than death. You stick a Fiber One bar in their mouth and you put a bag over their head. so they can't spit it out. And if they try, and if they do manage to spit it out, it's still stuck in there, and so they gotta breathe with that thing right next to them. It's like having shit next to you, in a burlap sack tied over your head. The torture methods. So like, imagine this is like a scenario you're trying to get someone to talk. You got all these weapons lined up on a table, all ready to go, and you got a fiber one bar there. Now, you got him sit down. He's watching you, like, which weapon should I pick? He's sitting there watching in like fear, like, please. And then you're like scanning your hand over the one you want to pick. You're getting close to fiber one bar. He's sweating. He's like sweating bullets right now. And you pick the fucking hammer, and you can hear him like let out a sigh of like relief because he's not getting the fiber one bar. That's a really good. You can get answers for anything. You can get like fucking launch codes, whatever have you. Just as long as you have that fiber one bar there to threaten them. You could prank friends. Don't get the thing out. I mean, that's a little overboard. It's like it's like the stupid shitty pranks or you like on YouTube where someone like shoots a friend. It's just a prank, bro. As they're bleeding out. No, don't. Just the packaging is enough. Really, like hell. Or like, I guess you could get it out and make it like a cake out of it. Like kind of how they have the sponge cake pranks, and they put like icing over sponges, and then be like, oh, dig in. They bite into a sponge. Instead, it's just fiber one. You might kill somebody, but I think it would make a really good YouTube hit. Like you get millions of views off of it, pranking someone to eat a fiber one bar. Man, you'd make a lot. One really good one, actually, instead of using it for harm or bad, is self-defense. So you're walking in an alley. You're a 4'10" lady. You don't weigh anything. You're defenseless. You don't got shit except a fiber one bar in your purse. Now some guy, he has intent. So all you gotta do is have that bad boy ready, and like, really, it's probably worse than bear mace. Like, with I don't know, it's probably worse than any weapon you can get on the black market or the deep web. If we're being honest here, like this thing's been hiding under our nose this whole time. Like, why go on the deep web or you know spend thousands of dollars on stupid fucking pathetic weapons when you can get a fiber one bar? So like all you gotta do, he's trying to do his dirty things, and you get a fiber one bar, you smack him with it. Make sure it's like open a little bit. Depends on if you want to like kill this guy in self-defense, because like you can kill people in self-defense, I think, in some states. I'm not sure. Depends. If you want this guy to fucking suffer, you take the whole fiber one bar out and hit him with it. And if he's stunned enough, get him on the ground and put it in his mouth. Put it in his mouth. Now, if you're in a state where if you just want to get away, or just get him to leave you alone, just hit him with, just open it up a little bit and hit him with it. Just hit him with it a bunch of times. He'll probably be traumatized, really, and he'll run home to his mommy and go eat a peanut butter jelly sandwich. Honestly, I don't think he'll eat anything, because he probably won't even have an appetite for the rest of his life. For the rest of his life after what you just did to him. Honestly, I think you might be the criminal at that point. When you turn the tables that hard on him, it's like, he tried to rape you, but then you get a fiber one bar and hit him with it, and then he's trying to press charges on you for that. So you might want to be careful, because this is some real power here if you get one of these. Like, you could really, like, you can start some shit with these things. I'll tell you what. Now, if you are one unfortunate person who has eaten one of these things before, I'm sorry. I really am. My heart goes out to you. There is something you can do to alleviate the pain. Make yourself some Alfredo. Make yourself some Alfredo, man. Make some Alfredo, or go make some shells and cheese. Get yourself some cheesy garlic bread. That'll heal you up real, real good. That's what I did. I'm never gonna forget the taste ever. You won't forget the taste. It's just things. That's just how trauma works. You never forget, but it helps. It really does. It's like therapy. Yes, these things do have fiber, and fiber is really good for you. It helps you like digest things a lot better and all that. Gives you really good creamy shits. But the thing is, after I ate this, I got none of those things. I didn't get a creamy shit. It was really bad shit. I really did have to go after about an hour after eating this thing, but the shit wasn't pleasant. So like, if you're looking for something with a good source of fiber in it, don't go for these. Go for like strawberries or something. Don't ever fucking touch a Fiber One bar. Don't. You're just these things are meant for like fueling the fire. You don't really want to buy firewood for some reason because you're like retarded or something. You could go with these. It's not gonna smell good. I promise you that. But if it's just like something you have lying around, obviously don't buy these things just to make fires. If you have it in your house that you just never eat, because you probably bought one of these and tried one. You're like, wow, this is fucking gross, and it's still sitting in your cupboard. You can get it and then put it in your fire, and then make good fire. It's probably not gonna smell good, like I said. Burning plastic and especially burning fucking Fiber One bar, you might kill your bunch of birds or yourself on accident if you're not careful enough. But yeah, it's pretty bad. Uh, yeah,